With every passing week of House of the Dragon, the family drama gets given another layer. And in episode 7, that family conflict finally boils over. In this episode, we start with Laena's funeral. It's a very awkward situation, seeing all our characters in the same spot with a lot of different looks given to each other. But hopefully at any of these occasions you don't have someone like Larys staring you down. King Viserys is still there for now, but it looks like his brain is starting to deteriorate as he mistakenly calls Alicent Emma. And in the next episode we get yet another time jump, and his voice was in the trailer but we didn't get to see him, so it'll be interesting to see what he does look like in the next episode. And we do see him talking with Daemon in this episode, and when he does eventually go, we will definitely miss that, because seeing that brother relationship is one of the most interesting ones in the show. Otto Hightower is back as Hand to the King, and I gotta say, it's great to see him back, as he is one of the most tactical players of the Game of Thrones. On the night of the funeral, Rhaenyra and Daemon walk along the beach where they eventually spark it up between the sheets. And I understand some people's complaints that they didn't like the look of these scenes. I have to agree, like, it wasn't so much about the vision, it's more so about the general look. It just looked quite ugly. And that's probably because they filmed these scenes in the daytime and then changed them after the fact. I mean, my uncle was actually down in Cornwall when they were filming these. Putting that nitpick to one side, one of the issues I had was the sex scene itself, because when we look back and see how she was when she got warmed up by Daemon, then went back to Criston Cole and had that night of passion, with this you've had 10 years of waiting, now she's finally with the man she wants, and it was just really lacking of that sort of energy, that sort of fire. Maybe that's due to the recent loss these two have had and also the scars of life they've had over the last 10 years, but I just thought they could have done a bit more to make it more memorable. Anyway, while that's all going down, Aemond approaches Vhagar, and it's kind of like a mouse meeting an elephant situation, but he does eventually become Vhagar's new dragon rider. Much to the disgust of Laena's children that Aemond's took their mother's dragon, a fight sparks out between the kids where Aemond loses an eye. And then it goes full Jeremy Kyle, full Jerry Springer, you name it, it kicks off. After seeing what she believed to be favoritism towards Rhaenyra from Viserys, Alicent finally cracks. She demands an eye for an eye but doesn't get what she wants, so she goes on the attack and Rhaenyra feels the full force of it. And this was basically Alicent the whole scene.
It's not easy being green.
We then get a sweet scene between Rhaenyra and Laena where he says to her that he wants to be the better person and do better for her. But Rhaenyra's got her own plans to marry Daemon, so they conjure up a plan to set them both free. With Laenor faking his own death so he can escape the responsibilities and commitments of the realm so he can now become the person he wants to be. And then with him presumed dead, Rhaenyra's free to marry Daemon. And what you thought was going to be a bleak end to the episode actually became a nice surprise of good news. And overall I thought this episode just got better and better as it went on. And the preview for next week shows the kids are all grown up now, so they'll become much more integral parts to the overall Game of Thrones. And what these last two episodes have done since the major time jump is that they built a lot of rivalries into the show, a lot of connections here and there, so when we get into these final episodes there'll be a lot more baggage towards what actually happens. And with episode 7, it was another thoroughly enjoyable episode, and at the moment I just love having those Sunday nights where I'm just like, oh yep, hot D tonight. But I feel like if you're watching it as a binge as well, you'll still enjoy it. I think this show is just so good in terms of you can watch it any way you want. Season 1 has been quite sporadic with all the different time jumps, but I think by the end of the season it will have settled down and it had that foundation built ready for season 2. But where did you think this episode ranked amongst the rest? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want something else to watch, on screen right now is our review for Ticket to Paradise, as well as our October preview for all the films and TV coming out in that month.